Hello friends, welcome to my channel Clinical Biochemistry by Dr. P.K. Prabhakar. Today we are going to talk about one of the important topic in lipoprotein metabolism, that is why HDL is called as good cholesterol. We have already discussed about various types of lipoprotein metabolic processes. Different other there are a few videos which is already uploaded on my channel. So four videos I have already uploaded where we have talked about the basic introduction of lipoproteins and then chylomicrons metabolism, VLDL, LDL and IDL metabolic processes and HDL metabolic processes. So if you have not watched those videos, you can watch it now. I will give you link in the descriptions of this video and in I button also I will give you the details. So now further we are going to see why HDL is called as good metabolism, why HDL is beneficial for our body. So first of all we should understand what is HDL and what HDL is having so that it behaves as a good cholesterol. So first if you see HDL as its name suggests it is a having high density. So any compounds which is having high density, so its size is small. So if density will increase, its size will decrease, and if density will low, size will increase. So its density is more than 1.063 gram per ml. It means among all the lipoproteins, this is having the highest density. So this is the maximum highest density containing lipoproteins, and it is having the smallest in size. So its size is roughly 5 to 15 nanometer in the spherical shape. As we understand that as much as protein content increases in any lipoproteins, its density is also increases. So protein content is directly proportional to the density, or density is directly proportional to the protein content. Means if protein will increase, its density increases. So as we have seen in our previous lectures, from chylomicron, which has roughly only 1% of proteins, maximum triglyceride and cholesterols was there. So slowly from chylomicron to VLDL, if we are going increasing to till HDL, so its protein content increases. So in HDL, we are having roughly 40 to 50% of protein content. Similarly, lipid content is decreasing from chylomicron to HDL, and it can come to 50 to 60%. The major lipoprotein it is having, in if you have seen in case of chylomicrons, their major lipoprotein was triglyceride and cholesterol esters. Here, the content of triglyceride and cholesterol ester is very low. Then, which type of lipid it is having? It contains mainly phospholipids, cholesterols, and it is having some of the apoproteins. The major apoprotein it is having is that is A1, A2, A4, C1, C2, and apoprotein E. This is not the only apoprotein it is having. Other than this few apoprotein, it is having number of other apoproteins also. This is the basic structure of HDL, which contains some apoproteins. So this is the core. Sorry, this is the core of you can call it HDL, which is composed of triglyceride, which is having very low concentration, low amount of triglyceride and cholesterol ester, and peripheral side it will have phospholipids and unesterified cholesterol. So phospholipid and unesterified cholesterol is towards the periphery outside, and then it is having some of the apoproteins, that is apoprotein C, different types of C, then different types of A1 which we are seeing here, and then apo E. This is not the only apoprotein it is having. It contains number of other different types of apoprotein also. If you'll say overall, HDL contains two important characters content. It is having two important biomolecular features which gave them a slightly advantages, which is because of those two components it is very good for our health. One is different types of apoprotein which is having a beneficial effect, and second important feature of this one is it is contains number of enzymes, number of proteins which gave them, which provides them a some better health characteristic features, health properties. So we are going to see those features of apoproteins and proteins or enzymes. So this is the some of the important apoprotein which is present in HDL and which is having a good features which provides us better properties, better effect on our health. Like first, if you see apoprotein A1, it contains antioxidant properties. So because of antioxidant properties of A1, it is HDL is having antioxidant effect, so it protects us from the free radicals. Other than that one, it also activates LCAT along with this one C1. C1 also activates LCAT. LCAT is lecithin cholesterol acyl transferase. What is the function of lecithin cholesterol acyl transferase during the metabolic processes of HDL? Once immature HDL converted to mature HDL, that time cholesterol will be esterified by LCAT. So that we will see in the metabolic process of HDL. After that one, it also contains number of apoproteins which activates, which initiates, which enhances the activity of different lipases. Like apoprotein C2 activates hepatic lipase, apoprotein C2 activates lipoprotein lipase, apoprotein C3 inactivate them. Other than that one, it contains one important proteins that is called as CETP, that is cholesterol ester transfer proteins. The major function of this CETP is it helps in the exchange of cholesterol ester from HDL to LDL or VLDL, and in return it gets triglyceride from them. So HDL donates cholesterol ester, and in return HDL gets triglyceride from VLDL and LDL. Other than that one, it is having ApoF, which initially called as lipid transfer inhibitor proteins, which inhibits the transfer of activity of CETP. CETP, I have already told you, it is for the exchange of. So this ApoF inhibits the activity of this CETP. So because the activity of CETP will be inhibited, so the transfer or exchange of triglyceride and cholesterol ester will not occur. Then ApoA, it's mainly it is going to be expressed in the heart of obese person or the person who is obese. Then the one of the important apoprotein is apoprotein A, M, which mainly expressed in liver and kidney. It is a membrane bound. It involves in lipid transport, and it contains. It is having number of activity, number of good characteristic features, like it have antioxidant activity. It is having anti-atherosclerotic activity. Plus it also helps in the efflux of cholesterol from the cells. So at the cellular level, at the tissue level, tissue locations, the cholesterol content will be coming into the circulation, which will be thrown out by this HDL. So HDL involves in one of the important characteristic feature, one of the process that is called as reverse cholesterol transport. What is reverse cholesterol transport is? Normally cholesterol, the normal movement of cholesterol is from the intestine. If we are talking about the exogenous cholesterols which we eat, so that will reach to the GIT tract or intestine. From there it will go, it will form chylomicron, it will reach to the tissue. VLDL, which is normally transporting the endogenous lipids which normally we synthesize into the liver, it will form VLDL and then it will be transported to the tissue. This is the normal movement of lipid from the intestine to the tissue or from the liver to the tissue. HDL normally do the opposite reactions. It transports lipids, especially cholesterols, from the tissue to the liver. So that is called as, it is this opposite direction, so it is called as reverse cholesterol transport. That is one of the things where at the tissue level lipid deposition is going to be decreased, so that it normally decreases the harmful effect done by those lipids. This is the overall metabolic process of lipids, HDL especially. So HDL is synthesized by liver in the form of discoidal shape. Why it is discoidal? Because it is having more lipoprotein, means more triglycerides and less cholesterol esters. So slowly in the movements, it gets different kind of cholesterols from the tissue, from at the tissue level in the circulation, and it becomes spherical. Then this spherical cholesterols have a exchange reactions for the triglyceride and cholesterol esters, where HDL gets triglyceride from the VLDL in the circulations, and in return it gives this cholesterol ester to the LDL or VLDL. Before that one, LCAT converts cholesterol which it gets from the tissue into cholesterol esters, and then this finally matured cholesterol, spherical cholesterol reaches to the liver, and there it will be metabolized. This is the normal process of HDL. Now I have already told you HDL is having some of the important properties, important proteins, important enzymes, because of which HDL have a better features. HDL is good for our health. HDL imparts, HDL gives you a good properties, good effect. So those apoproteins are like, first apoprotein is apoprotein A1. What is the effect of A1? It has an important role in reverse cholesterol transport. What is the function of reverse cholesterol transport? I have already told you. It normally removes lipids from the tissue or from the peripheral tissue to the liver, so that lipid content near the tissue is going to be decreased. So that is reverse cholesterol transport. And not only this one, this A1 also removes the oxidized phospholipids from the oxidized LDL. We know LDL, which is coming from VLDL. And so this LDL is having two locations, two targets. Either it will reach to the tissue or it will reach to the liver. But if LDL will be in the circulation for more duration of time, uh, if it will be in the liver circulation in more duration of time, it will get oxidized, and that will give you a harmful effect. Other apoprotein it is having it, that is A2, which is give this, which protect VLDL from the oxidation, so that it will not oxidize, and it will oxidize VLDL or oxidize lipids is a little bit more dangerous. So apoprotein A2 protects VLDL from get oxidized. Then apoprotein A4, which is normally controlling, regulating our feeding behavior. Other than this one, feeding behavior regulations, apoprotein A4 also involves in reverse cholesterol transport like apoprotein A1. So it involves in reverse cholesterol transport by promoting the efflux as well as through the activation of LCAT. Not only the reverse cholesterol transport, it is also having antioxidant activity, anti-inflammatory activity, or anti-atherosclerotic activity. So because of all these characteristic features like antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, or anti-atherosclerotic activity, HDL is very good for our cells, our body, to protect us from different things. Other than that one, it is having also apoprotein E, which is normally involves in the receptor mediated uptake of LDL. So HDL donates apoprotein E to chylomicron and VLDL. Because of that one, VLDL and chylomicron will be taken to the liver. This E2 is having different kind of variants. So apoprotein E2 stimulates normally endothelial nitric oxide release, and it is having anti-inflammatory activity, whereas E4 is having pro-inflammatory activity. So it induces your immune system, immune responses. Other than this one, it contains number of other proteins or enzymes. One of the enzymes is paraoxygenase 1 and 3. This paraoxygenase is an enzyme family which normally hydrolyze organophosphates. This paraoxygenase enzyme genes, that is 1 and 3, it possesses antioxidant properties. So overall, if you'll say it, a number of proteins are there in the HDL which contains antioxidant activity, anti-inflammatory activity, pro-inflammatory activity, anti-atherosclerotic activity. So because of all those things, it is very good for our health. Then it contains glutathione peroxidase 1, and this is having a very good role in reducing hydrogen peroxide and convert them to water. It also reduces lipid peroxidation processes. So lipid free radicals will not be produced, or will be produced very less amount. So that is the function of glutathione peroxidase. The last apoprotein which we are going to talk here is, that is sphingosine 1 phosphate. It is a bioactive lysophospholipids which involves in the physiologically important pathways. So if you have seen a number of apoproteins, it is having like apoprotein A, A4, E, then apoprotein peroxygenase 1, 3, glutathione peroxidase. These are number of apoproteins and protein which contains antioxidant activity or anti-atherosclerotic activity. So overall function, if you see summary, HDL contains anti-inflammatory activity, it contains antioxidant activity, it reduces lipid into the circulation by increasing the reverse cholesterol transport and cholesterol efflux. It also contains anti-apoptotic effect, anti-thrombotic effect. It releases nitric oxide, promoting an endothelial function enhancing effect. So overall, these are the effect. How it produces? It gives you in anti-inflammatory effect. So it works through the regulations, through the expression of number of genes, number of cytokines, chemokines, proteins, and factors. Like it is going to down regulate the endothelial cells, VCAM and ECAM. These are glycoproteins which is normally expressed on endothelial cells. So it down regulates, it reduces the expression of VCAM and ICAM. It also prevents the endothelial cells expression of IL-8 and MCP1. It interacts with peroxygenase 1. Just now I have told you that is organophosphate metabolic degradation. It works. It upregulates the endothelial cells and nitric oxide productions will be there, which is having a inflammatory activity. It regulates the macrophagic tumor necrosis factor. It inhibits the NADPH oxidase release activity. So it inhibits NADPH release means oxidase release means this is the enzyme which normally involves in the oxygen dependent killing of pathogens. So it this NADPH oxidase normally induces the free radical generations. So if its activity will be decreased, means free radical generation will be decreased. So that will have a better longevity of the cells. Cells will not die, or components will be not degraded because of free radical generation. So overall, these are the good effect of HDL on our health. So if you compare to other lipids, this HDL is having a better effect on our health. So it is very good lipid, and because of all these properties, only HDL is known as a good lipid. So that's all for today. Hope you have understand it. If you have any query, any comments, you can write in the comment box. You can write your message in any of the social networking sites. If you're not subscribed my channel, please subscribe it. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.